Welcome to another episode. We're here on the Unhelpful Parenting Podcast. It's going to be a fun one.
This week we are catching up with some quick yays and nays from us of some of the fun and not so fun parenting things that have happened to us. Full relatable. We have school fails and tales, stories you guys have sent in of things that have failed or have been really funny at school, whether you're a teacher or a parent or a kid. And we are doing our Easter eggs again. We are going behind the scenes in Bluey with some really fun facts and interesting things that you may not know. That the show was originally meant to be called Rusty, not about Bluey.
The 2 hours in between, go on.
Trumps all your nays. I would take a whole day of tantrums. Can you just fail them right then and there?
What generation is in uni at the moment? Is it Gen Z or Gen Alpha?
So fun fact, did you know that newborns for like the first 3 to 4 weeks of their life don't produce tears?
No.
That's a legit fun fact. That's not like masquerading as a dad joke. But I bet they spend all their toddler years and probably the rest of their life trying to make up for it.
Maybe.
Feels like it this week.
Yeah, I don't know.
The amount of tears in our house this week.
Yeah.
We got 2 toddlers and a 6-year-old
Going on 13.
Oh gosh.
And the tears are just mine.
I was going to say, that's just Sam.
It's just my tears.
Well, on that fun, positive note.
Hooray! Let's get on to our yays and nays. And I'm going to go first this time because my nay is the freaking tantrums. Dude. Our 1-year-old, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's cutting extra teeth. I don't know if he's
just a 1-year-old?
Just going through a mental leap, or he's just a 1-year-old.
He's learning what no means.
He is, oh my goodness, melting down. Everything is no. I think
he's very dramatic. That's, I think, what you can't.
Oh, but then he wakes up, but he also wakes up just in a bad mood and just doesn't know what he wants for an hour and screams the house down.
Gee, and it's like, I wonder where that comes from. I wonder where he gets that from. Wakes up in a bad mood, takes an hour to become like human again. It's not me.
Don't want to talk about.
What's your yay?
My yay is it's my birthday.
It is tomorrow.
When this comes out.
Yeah, but not while we're recording it.
When this comes out.
We already had our birthday episode. Sorry, I don't have any streamers for you. Yay.
I'm pretty sure there's a party popper over there.
Happy birthday to you. And your birthday gift will be that I will sing no more.
Thank you. It's a great gift. I'll take that gift. What's your yay and nay?
My yay is one for the mums, although dads, if you like this fun fact, then I don't judge. But I discovered over the weekend a thing called lip tint.
Amazing. Wow.
Are you so excited? I'm so excited because I've gone back to work in like proper corporate. I have to be on Zoom, and so I have to wear lipstick, and it's been driving me nuts because I've put it on and then I can't kiss the kids in the morning because they come in to see me because I work Zoom. Funny hours, and so I'm on Zoom early hours, and then they come in and I can't kiss them good morning and smoosh them, and they're so smooshable at this age. So found this thing called lip tint. And it lasts like 24 hours. It's not like it's forever. And you put it on and it like soaks in and doesn't like, I didn't know that was a thing. And as a working mum, that's my yay this week, is that there are products that allow me to smoosh my children while still being working mum life. So
yeah,
not sponsored. Promise, not sponsored.
But
my nay trumps all your nays. I would take a whole day of tantrums over waking up at 2 a.m. to projectile vomit on me. It splattered on my face this week.
Yes, you did have vomit on your face. You weren't faced though. You literally got out of the shower and I was like, oh no, you were holding him and you were like, oh, it's over my shirt and stuff. I was like, no, it's on your face, dude. You need to go have a shower.
There was no point in me freaking out because it was 2 a.m. in the morning. He was already having a tough time. To be honest, at this point, like 3 kids, we've been vomited on that many times.
It is what it is.
Doesn't faze me anymore. But yes, that was a bit of a shock. Like, it took me a bit to work out what was happening. And then because I hadn't woken up quick enough, for some reason in my head, I went, oh, he's only just started vomiting, and turned him and was like, oh, we can miss the bed. So turned him so he threw up all over the carpet, because I'm like, if I have to clean the carpet anyway, whatever, keep it off the bed. It was all over the bed. I don't even know what I was thinking.
You weren't.
Yeah, well, because I woke up to...
Yeah. And then the smell was
joys of motherhood. And we will stop talking about that for anyone whose stomachs aren't sensitive. And I feel like there's a short period of time where you're not sensitive to that.
Why wasn't that mine? Because I ended up sleeping with him in his room.
and you dealt with vomit for
I
the
literally
rest of the night.
didn't sleep because every noise I heard, I was like, I'm all vomit. And 50-50 it was.
Anyway, lots of fun in our house. This week we're doing school fails and tales. So this is a segment where some of our best stories have come from. So I put out on socials this week, I said, send us your like school stories, because this is one where we get kids self-confessing, we get teachers dobbing parents and kids in, and we get parents sending in some pretty good ones. To be honest, school fails and tales runs through everything, because we get confessions about stuff that happens at school all the time, but it's fun to do a highlight on one. So you can kick us off with the first one.
Yeah, this is pretty standard. We used to do this as kids, just not at school. Teacher here. I still remember the day I caught 2 students using hairspray and barbecue lighters to make blowtorches in the school bathroom. Still not the craziest thing I've seen.
Ow.
Boys will be boys. Let's be real.
Oh, man.
I just want to know what they're doing with lighters and that. Anyway. And hairspray.
Burning down the school.
Oh, and hairspray. Oh, 2 students. Oh, they may not have been boys. They might have been girls.
Yeah. Look at you and your stereotype,
stereotypical sexist.
Look out. Probably was boys, though. I'll give you that. This one wasn't technically school, but I decided it met the criteria, and not at school, but at youth group. A kid found a bag in a bush outside full of adult toys. We didn't know until a small crowd had formed, giggling at the contents. It wasn't just 1 or 2 innocent ones either, but handcuffs and a wide range of very lifelike looking toys. Of course, we quickly disposed of it, but that was a fun one to explain to the parents as they picked up their kids from youth group.
I mean,
that's not what you expected your kids to be learning about.
Was that our friends with the fluffy handcuffs from like episode 1?
No.
They left their backpack out somewhere.
This one's anonymous. Very different story.
So was the other one. I just remember the handcuffs.
No, you and your handcuffs.
Yep. My embarrassing story happened at school. The whole school was waiting for assembly to start, and I turned around and walked into a post, hitting my head. It echoed through the entire assembly area. The principal spoke up to say that she was going to announce the new painted posts for the visually impaired at assembly, but I took her thunder.
You also just proved that they don't work. We have these new posts for the visually impaired that even people who can see properly can't see.
You just imagine the up, dong. I can just hear it, just a dong off the head.
Also, when you're in school
posts.
years, I can understand how that's like the most embarrassing moment ever. But also, stuff like that happens to me all the time. I'm so clumsy. Like,
the amount of posts she walks into.
My spatial awareness is terrible.
No, but that's true though, because literally we did a event in a public space. There's giant, massive, bright yellow cable ramps. Like huge, like, that wide. The amount of people on their phones tripping over it was hilarious.
Should have just made a reel.
I just sat there watching it all day. It was absolute gold. We started making bets on whether, here comes one, either they're going to trip or fall. A blind guy stepped over it.
Well, he's not walking looking on his phone, is he? Anyway, back to the kids.
Shows how distracting phones are.
Back to the kids. I remember my daughter taking a dead mouse for show and tell and wrapped it up for her teacher. It was just before a school interview and I was horrified to hear the news from the teacher, but she was quite amused and laughed.
That's awesome. I love it.
Ew.
Love it. Dead
It's going to
mouse.
be like farm life, like, because otherwise where do you get a dead mouse from? Or reptiles in the house, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
you could have dead mice in the house. Sometimes people get mice in the house. Like, it's gross and it's rare, but
real gross.
catch a mouse in a mouse trap. Daughter puts the mouse trap in the bag. Look, I got a pet
what
mouse.
I found. Oh, yeah.
We caught a mouse. It was Space Week, and we had a little girl who was always desperate to be the best. Little Miss Competitive. She piped up that instead of landing on the moon like the other boys and girls, she was going to be the first person to land on the sun. When I tried explaining that should burn up, she said, "Don't be silly. I'll go at night time."
Oh, she's so cute.
That's cute.
All that ambition just to land on the sun.
That's not like, it's not like, I don't know. It's not a fail, but it's cute.
It's cute. It's funny.
It is funny.
It doesn't have to
it's
be a fail.
hilarious.
This isn't the confessional. This is like school
schools-
fails
and
and tales. Funny stories.
Anyway, that is cute.
Yeah.
That is cute.
This one's not cute though. This might be out of the field of schools, but I teach at a university, and at the top of our written exams is name and sign, where students are directed to write their names and sign their papers. I have had more than one student write their star sign down. Can you just fail them right then and
What
there?
generation is in uni at the moment? Is it Gen Z or Gen Alpha?
Oh, all of them. By the time you get to higher education, it's a good mix of everyone. But
Skibbity toilet. Freak.
all right, one more. Your turn. Your turn.
Sam. Leo.
Except you're not. I don't even know what you are.
I don't know. I don't
See
care.
how closely we follow them.
Don't give a stuff. Some nice stars in the sky. That's about it. I teach early primary, and one of the most common funny spelling mistakes we get are kids who can't spell the word tights. They spell it Tits. So we've had all sorts of long tits tying their tits in a knot and sewing their tits up to the right size so they fit. Preemptive plastic surgery. It's fun.
I mean, some of us parents could do with that.
Is it good?
But
Is it something you can learn online or? Wow.
oh, that's cute. I want to know more like that. I'm sure kids must have like
Spelling
looking
mistakes.
at them trying to learn how to spell a word.
Maybe that can be next week.
Your typos and your spelling mistakes.
Spelling mistakes that your kids have done or you've done.
Well,
I had a few.
Thank you for sending your stories in. This is a recurring segment. So if you were listening to this and are like, oh my gosh, I remember this happened, or I did this at school, or my mum did that, or like even we've had stories of like forgetting to send the right lunchbox and like 3-day-old rotting scraps going to school. Yeah, we always refer to lunchbox beers. That's always been a favourite of the mum that
Lunchbox beers.
grabbed a can thinking it was soft drink back in the days when that was more acceptable to send a can of soft drink.
Well, it's better
And it was
than
beer.
It's better than the lunchbox gun.
We did have a lunchbox gun too. So send in your stories. Help us laugh.
Yeah.
And teachers, this is your moment to shine too. So we will circle back to this at a later date, as we always do. But for the meantime,
What do we got?
our
Easter
current
eggs?
recurring segment leading up to Easter, there's Easter eggs in the shops, so there's Easter eggs in the podcast. We are doing Bluey. So last week we did Toy Story and we went into all the fun Easter eggs. And of course, it's no question that if we're going to do more and more of these, Bluey obviously had to make the cut.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say after this week, we don't actually have plans for next week. So if you have a movie or something that a TV show that your kids love that you
Easter
think
eggs.
might have some Easter eggs in it, we would love to watch it and get
Go
you
digging.
Yeah, we'll go deep diving.
And all that spare time we have.
Well, some trivia to get us started.
All right, go on.
So the creator of Bluey, Joe Brum, has actually publicly said that the show was originally meant to be called Rusty, and it was going to be about Rusty, not about Bluey. He hasn't elaborated on why they changed it. They changed it very early on, but he hasn't elaborated. He has talked about how he loves the character of Rusty, though, and it's one of his favourites. And the cricket episode is one of his favourites. But we do know that Bluey was modelled after his childhood dog. He had a cattle dog he had a cattle dog called Bluey.
Cattle dog. I was like, 'cause she's a blue heeler, but yeah, cool. Okay.
Bluey. Yeah.
Great. Yep.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is kind of
fascinating how shows come to be, and we almost had Rusty. That would be so different. I do like Rusty though.
Every episode, there is a long dog.
There is.
You have to look for it.
It's
literally a long little dog. It looks like a sausage dog.
Yeah. It's in like literally
every episode.
There's a YouTube channel that has actually dedicated way too much of their time to finding every single one and putting it into a video for you if you are curious. But also they do that in their merch. We've got a obviously Bluey Obsessed Kids. All the books have we've got to find it book, and then you go through and you can find the long dog in every one as well.
We get to do Bluey's World, and we wonder if there'll be long dogs all through there. There will, no doubt.
If you're a Bluey lover, stay tuned to our YouTube channel because we will vlog that day, actually. I know you can't take your phone into Bluey's World, but we'll share as much as we can.
We'll do the pre and post.
Yeah. Perks of living close by to that. The Yoga Ball episode has a very obvious, if you haven't picked it up, this is one of the most obvious Easter eggs, very obvious Indiana Jones reference.
Does it? I haven't watched it.
The game is literally called Raiders. And it's the yoga ball. They have to run from the yoga ball, and there's a shot of them, same as in Raiders.
With the big ball behind
them, and they're running to get out of the way. And they even sing the song, and it's a cute crossover. That's in there for the parents, because I assume kids of that age have not watched the movie. That's one for you.
It's easy. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's a great movie, especially the ending. In the Octopus episode, we see that Chloe, the Dalmatian's house, is number 101 on their street.
Love that.
101 Dalmatians, just for those of you out there. That's clever.
It is very clever.
Very clever.
I love these
good
clever
homage.
One that I missed, and I have watched the episode and I missed it every time, but once I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, of course. The typewriter episode is loosely based on The Wizard of Oz. You're trying to think of the episode, I know. So it's the episode where Bluey travels to see a wiser person, Calypso. She's at her kindy program in hopes of getting assistance with her problem. So she's looking for the typewriter. All the while she collects companions in the form of Snickers and Winton. They've got their things that they're looking for. And yes, they all go through to see Calypso to get the solution to their problems. But even at the end, at the end of Wizard of Oz, the wizard is like, don't look behind the green curtain. Calypso at the end, when they find her, she's sitting on a green chair with a green cover behind her as well. It's really
clever.
Yeah, I missed that one when I watched it.
Oh yeah, I missed it completely.
But
that makes a lot of sense though, because I'm like,
I know, I want to go home and watch it again now. We'll be watching Bluey tonight after recording this.
You will be watching Bluey. I will not. Fun fact on their car, the Healer's number plate, 419 HLR. 419 is apparently the hex code for blue.
Ah, it says blue.
The blue healer. Clever.
Very clever.
I mean, hex codes are far longer than that, but I'm wondering if it's...
Yes, for non-design parents, hex codes are like numbers you can put in to make sure you get the exact same colour as if you're working in design. It's a specific shade. That's clever.
That's cool.
There's a great Jim Morrison reference in there in the sleepover episode. So Jim Morrison, who is the lead singer of The Doors, he wrote a poem called The Celebration of the Lizard and dubbed himself the Lizard King. So in the sleepover episode, Muffin hops onto the giant flamingo in the yard and yells, "I'm a flamingo queen," in homage to it.
That's funny.
I love the little ones that are people may not pick it up, but...
That's clever. If you look closely at Chili's arm during this season 1 episode, The Weekend, you'll spot what looks like an iPod around her arm. If you look even closer, you'll be able to catch a glimpse of what Chili's listening to. The album art is strikingly similar to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, except instead of a prism, it's a bone.
Nice. Good pick.
Respect.
Well,
Respect.
on that, in a dog's world train of thought. In the markets episode, they zoom in on a $5 note, and the whole episode follows the $5 note around. And they've got Queen Elizabeth II on it, because that's what's on our $5 notes, I think. On the episode, in Dog World, she's a corgi. They made her a corgi.
Actually, I have noticed that.
The Queen is a corgi.
Yeah, it's clever. Yeah, very clever. Dave McCormack, who is Bandit, the dad, he was the lead singer of an Australian band called Custard.
I did.
For those who you didn't know that. Yep. In one of the mini episodes, there's a flash of Bandit's driver's license, and if you zoom in, you can see his name is Bandit Custard Healer. There's also a long list of custard jokes.
All the way through. Now
in the movie, in all the episodes, custard jokes.
I think Custard's even something here, or like, he yells out biscuits and like instead of swearing. I'm pretty sure Custard comes out in one of them. And then in the bus one, when they're like driving the bus really fast, and he's like, "Oh, we're going to run into the custard factory."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, comes out.
Is there one in the Pavlova one as well?
I don't know.
Talk about food and custard. Anyway,
I don't know.
Fun.
Well, one more for you. This one's a little bit longer. In season 3 obstacle course, Bluey warms up in preparation for a race against her father on the backyard obstacle course. Chili attempts to hype her up with the mantra referring to the training, and Chili says, "How fast can you run?" And Bluey says, "As fast as a greyhound." "How fast are you gonna run?" "As fast as a greyhound." That whole exchange is copy and paste from the Australian movie Gallipoli, swapping leopard for greyhound.
Yes, it is.
And Gallipoli is, like, for our overseas listeners, if you haven't heard of it, it's one of our widely regarded as one of the most influential Australian films of all time, and is credited for kicking off the Australian film industry. So
it's a great movie.
It's a good one. I'm glad there's a reference in it to what is probably one of Australia's biggest exported TV shows now. But anyway, that's some Bluey fun facts for you behind the scenes of our
World War One.
Our beloved Bluey.
We love
and yes,
Bluey.
we do actually have our tickets. We haven't, we've got a voucher for tickets to go to Bluey's World. So
it's on, we're going to go.
If there's anything you want to know, leave it in the comments.
We were meant to go like 3 months ago, but.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Parent life.
Refer to last week's nay of we have not had, or the week before's nay of we have not had a day off or whatever.
I'll take a Bluey's World trip with the kids on a train as a day off.
Actually, I'm surprised we didn't use as our yay. We actually technically did get a day off this week.
Oh, we did?
Sam's parents or Sam's mum took the kids for a sleepover. We got 9.5 hours of sleep. Like, we have no reason to really be complaining about parenting this week, except that we got spewed on. But
I got 10.
Yeah. We put on it. We had all like good intentions of having a great night. We bought all the junk food. We were like, we're going to have Netflix and chill. We are going to have a great night without the kids. Half an hour and we were asleep. It did not. We obviously needed it.
We tried watching Wicked. I saw the start.
That was the movie we wanted to watch.
I saw the start. I saw the end. The 2 hours in between. Gone. I don't know. Total blur. I fell asleep.
Anyway,
but that was fun.
So make sure you are sending us your stories, guys. We love hearing from you. We love the stories. That's what makes us laugh. That's always the highlights that go on socials. Follow us there too and share stuff, because that also helps us reach more parents who also send us more stories. And I don't think we've got next week planned. So we need...
That's what I said. The spelling typo to be wackies.
Nah, not feeling it. Unless you've got some really good ones, send them in. If they come,
I gave you one and you still haven't used it.
I forgot what it was, and I didn't want to tell you that I forgot it.
What is the grossest thing your child has eaten?
I don't want gross things.
Or funniest thing your child has eaten?
If it's funny, but I don't want to do a gross episode. Gross.
Yeah, gross.
Anyway, come back next week. I promise to make sure it's not too gross.
We'll work it out. Keep an eye on social media and there's something I got.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye.